Happy Friday, everybody.
For
Happy
sure.
Friday. 4 weeks down, you guys have made it through your first month of 8th grade. Congratulations.
That's
It's been a long
crazy.
month, but it's great.
We're still going into September though. Don't you worry.
The purpose of today is number one. I like doing these because they're quick and it's easy for us to get information to you guys, but it doesn't require everybody coming down to the auditorium, sitting down, being hot in there, coming back. It's just easy way. So I frequently do these maybe once a month or so just to keep you guys up to date with what's going on, answer some question, address some things that the teachers have brought to my attention, and that kind of thing. First things first is 8th grade there's so much information, and that's going to be new because it's very different than 6th and 7th grade. Starting in October, you're going to hear Mrs. Amaral and myself and Mr. Cherbo really start talking about some of the options for next year for high school. Back in the day when I was in middle school in Norwalk, I just went to Norwalk High because that's what everybody did. Now it's very, very different. There's P-Tech, there's CGS, there's McMahon's programs there, there's Norwalk High. You can go to AITE in Stanford. You can go to Wright Tech in Stanford. Just a lot of different options really based on what your interest is and the kind of program you want to follow. So this Google Classroom that you all got invited to will have a lot of that. Sometimes there'll be an open house, or there'll be an application you have to complete. And instead of saying, oh my God, I don't know where to find that link, or I don't know how to do this, or I don't know when it is, which a lot of you guys like to use the I don't know question, comment, statement. This is a great resource for you to find that information. I just posted one thing that just welcomed you. You're going to see some stuff this weekend pop up about things we talked about today. And then it would be a great idea for you to check it periodically, maybe every day. In homeroom is a good time. I was telling students this the other day. You guys are in 8th grade now and really should be utilizing your school email to communicate with teachers and coaches and advisors and clubs. So homeroom is a great time to come in, check some of your Google Classrooms, check your email. And a lot of you get alerts through your Gmail, your NPS Gmail, when someone posts something on Google Classroom. So you don't even have to necessarily check all the Google Classrooms. If you check your email, you'll say, oh, Sarah Golding posted in class of 2025 Google Classroom, or Mrs. Chauvin posted an assignment in social studies classroom. And those are great ways just to be informed about what is going on, because it's a habit that if you start to get into this year will really make you successful in high school, because teachers in high school do not want emails from your families. They want emails from you guys. They want to communicate with you about what you need, not through your parents. Mrs. Amaral, anything about Google Classroom?
No, just to reiterate, like whenever we have information, and you do get a lot of information, especially now in the fall when the high schools start to come visit, and some of you may look at high schools even outside of Norwalk. And this is a great place that when we get those flyers from high school, we're just going to put them right here in this Google Classroom so that you have access and you can show your parents. So we have one place, everything gets dumped in, and then check it in. Just make sure your notifications are on and you're good to go. I agree.
Yep. There was a handful of you that have to go in and actually accept the invite. It should be there in your Google Classrooms. Maybe you didn't accept it because you weren't exactly sure what it was, but now you do. So that is that first piece. Outside of my office, across from the boys' locker room, I am working on an 8th grade bulletin board that will also have flyers and different information. Your homeroom teacher, if they haven't gotten this already, they will get a football, because it's football themed, with your homeroom name, and everybody's going to write their name on there. And we're going to use it to remind ourselves that we're, as corny as it sounds, all on one team. And if to be on a team, we got to communicate together and we got to respect one another. And I think you guys in particular have been doing an amazing job this first month. I can't say that the last couple of years in 8th grade, we felt that early in the year, but it's a nice change. And I'm really proud of you all. I am seeing a lot of people being mindful of other people's emotions. And that's a great thing that I know that we're all getting used to, kind of really dealing with that emotional vocabulary and really taking stock about how other people feel and how maybe my actions impact how other people feel. So just a couple quick reminders about, you know, if you're having a moment and you need time, there are people in this building that will support you. And it is okay for you to go to a teacher and say, you know what, I need a minute right now. Can you help me? Can I get a pass to see Dr. Golding, Mr. Chairbohm, Mrs. Amaral? I need to write in my journal for a second. It is okay to acknowledge how you're feeling. It is not okay to not explain and just walk out of rooms and handle that in a way that maybe presents itself as defiant or disrespectful. If you're open in communicating, your feelings are your feelings and you're entitled to them. We just want to be able to support you in the best way we can. Mrs. Amaral, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I also want to commend this 8th grade as a group. I've always, like, this is year 3 with you, and it's been really a pleasure working with every single one of you. And I've noticed even at the beginning of this school year that the few of you that I've even had a conversation with, you've been very accountable for your actions. And I think that's probably one of the biggest growths that you can show us as adults, is that when you mess up, because we all mess up, we all make mistakes, we all do things that perhaps we shouldn't do, is that you kind of own it and you say, yeah, I did it. This is why I did it. And I know I shouldn't have done it. And like, know that this is a learning opportunity and that you're going to try to do better the next time. Those are moments of growth that we look for as adults when we work with students. And then you as students, if you oftentimes will say things like, oh, that teacher doesn't like me or doesn't respect me, but you also have to be able to show that you are respectful and that you are accountable for your actions. Those are 2 things that we look for as qualities of higher leveled 8th graders, and as we prepare to like move on to high school. So just be thinkful about those things. Guys, we're here to help you. We want you to have the best year ever. That's really our goal for every single 8th grade, and how you act really determines how great the year is going to be for you.
That's an excellent segue into the next part. I like that you brought up the accountability piece, because when teachers are telling you like why you can't eat food in the hallway, or, hey, you're late to class again, it's a different story when you say, oh, you know what, I'm really sorry, you're right. Is different than being like, no, I was late because and a million reasons why. So just keep up the great work. Again, we're here for the fun stuff and the exciting stuff. Somebody's knocking on my door, but they're going to have to wait a minute. Now for what we've probably all been waiting for, but we didn't know we were waiting for.
Oh, the secret reveal?
Secret reveal. Not that it's a secret, because I heard that some teachers have been telling my secret to other people. 1 second. We take a class trip at the end of the year. Actually, we're taking 2 trips. I know you guys know that last year's 8th grade went to Quasi for the first time. I have booked Quasi for you guys to go this year as well in early June. We call it a class picnic, because we had like a picnic lunch there, and it was the best day ever. I moved it back a little this year for you guys, so it's really closer to promotion and it's really more celebratory than it was this past year. We went in the end of May. It was still a little chilly, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So that, more to come on that, because that's a big fun day, and it's all these things are open to anybody who wants to join. The overnight trip is very exciting, and we really hope with this group, with you guys this year, that maybe more people will be interested and want to be involved that maybe have been in the past. I know a lot of you went to Nature's Classroom last year. Our 8th grade trip is a little shorter than that, and we already got feedback from a student this afternoon that said, "What? It's not a week?" The problem is, we don't go to like a place like Nature's Classroom and just stay there for the week. We're staying in a hotel. We're going to museums. We're riding on a bus a million times. Those things cost a lot more than going to one location like Nature's Classroom and just staying there. So you're going to see in the next couple of weeks, when we start talking about things, that the price for this trip is a little higher than Nature's Classroom, but because we're going out and we need tickets to go places and do things. So we're going to explain a little more about that in the next coming weeks, and I'll explain it with your parents, and we'll talk about the money. You guys don't need to worry about the money right now. I think you guys are more concerned in what we're doing and where we're going. So by a drum roll, here we go. We are going to New York City for 2 full days. And before you moan and groan, some of you, it is not the New York City that some of you have experienced before. I mean, many of us have gone, maybe we go for the day, the afternoon, maybe we go visit family. This is really a very structured trip that connects to everything you guys are learning in your classrooms. Over here on the far right-hand side, where my little circle is right now, that is One World Trade. And those are the reflection pools that once were the Twin Towers. I know that you guys spent last week, just last week, talking about 9/11 and listening to some of the stories of the people who were first responders. We're going to visit the 9/11 Museum and take some time around those reflection pools. And Mrs. Amaral and I have done a trip there with students before, and I can tell you that it leaves a lasting impression. I don't know that anybody can go there and not feel a lot of different feelings about what happened and just all the emotions that you're feeling there. It's a very powerful place. It's very engaging, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Next, we are going to The Outsiders, the Broadway musical. I know that you have not gotten there yet, but you are going to read the novel this year in your ELA classes. Last year's 8th grade did it, and it was a hit. The book, everybody loved the book. And then we actually took a smaller group to see it, and they loved the show. It's fantastic. There's a picture on the top left-hand corner of Times Square where we will be visiting. If anybody has ever been to the Wax Museum in Times Square, it's very fun. You can make it seem to your friends and family like you met a whole bunch of celebrities in New York City, but they are not real. Bottom is the Statue of Liberty. We are actually taking a boat tour of the, I guess it's the harbor, like technically the right word. The river, right. But it's not the harbor, I guess. So, but we will circle the Statue of Liberty, which is a very cool site it's cool from land. It's even cooler when you're on a boat. What is not on here for you sports fans is if you are a Yankee fan, you are going to be very happy because we are getting a backstage behind the scenes tour of Yankee Stadium. So a lot of fun, different things, kind of covering everybody's interests. More to come about cost and things like that. But because everybody's hearing about Nature's Classroom, I wanted to end our week with something fun and to be excited about it. I know for Mrs. Amaral and myself, it is one of the biggest highlights of our year. We really look forward to it. It's an experience you will remember for the rest of your lives. We can answer any questions you have. We can support you and your family as you navigate payments and permission slips and all that stuff. But please consider joining us. And every year we always have, well, I'm not going to go if my friends don't go. Do not let someone's impression or whatever impact you, because this is something you are not going to want to miss. Mrs. Amaral, anything I missed?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I know a lot of us have gone into the city to do like a day trip. Maybe you'll go out to dinner with your family, or you're going to go do something for the day and then you come home again to sleep. But this is like packing in a week's worth of activities into 2 days. We have every single year that I've gone with 8th grade, we've just had an amazing time. We are exhausted by the time we get home, but you will see things that you normally wouldn't see with your family. And many of the tours that Dr. Golding is organizing with this tour company are tours that you wouldn't even have access to if you tried to go with your family, because they're special school tours. So we kind of do get like this VIP experience sometimes, because we just have opportunities because we're such a large group. And it's always fun to hang out with your besties, and you're walking through the city and you'll take tons of pictures. So it's always guaranteed to be a great time. And I want all of you to think, you know what, I want to go on this trip. So whatever that looks like in the next coming weeks, we'll be having some family meetings so that your parents are aware. We do some payment plans for families that need support with financials. Everything is already thought of. So we just want you to go home on a Friday afternoon, mid-September, super excited about being at school, about knowing that like, wow, I'm in 8th grade. like I'm looking forward to many things that are coming my way. That was really the goal of today. So we're hoping that you kind of are feeling kind of in the yellow zone, like kind of super excited.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe a little surprised because you weren't really sure where our trip was going. But kind of check yourself. And that's really the hopes that we had for this particular special Panther News, if you will.
Yeah. And nothing is better than experiencing a trip with Mrs. Amaral and myself. We love to travel, and we will make your experience the best. Teachers, if you didn't get a football from me, stop by, or I'll throw it in your mailbox if you could have everybody sign that on Monday morning. Great job, guys. It's been a fantastic first month. I'm looking forward to an amazing year ahead. Enjoy your weekend. Rest up. We got some testing next week. It's almost October already.
Yeah, and I'm going to start announcements in the next 30 seconds. Time to go home.
Starting next week, new pause cards.
Ooh,
check them out. They're on my desk,
information.
Off the press. Lots of fun things coming with these, and you guys should be earning them like, it's your job, because it is your job. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.